Alright, so when you first get started out, you want to pick the Persistent Universe. The arena commanders for like quick games. You're gonna have to create a character your first go around. It will save eventually, although every time there's a new patch, you have to make a new character. So spend as much time in here as you'd like. I mean, I kind of just keep it as default as possible. I don't really mess with it too much. This is the default kind of guy, and I just kind of go with that because well, that and I do hair maybe. Just a little hair. Oh, let's see. Yeah, it's the hair I think I usually go with. I'll go. Yeah, this is what I usually look like, and I just kind of go with it because I kind of get tired of making characters and over again. I'm gonna skip the tutorial. Feel free to do it, but if you want to, I'm gonna pick the stand-on system because that's the one we got. Hopefully soon we'll have Pyro or others. I like to go to Orison. I did start with New Babbage, Area 18, Lorville. They're all kind of, they have their own ups and downs. Orison, I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best. It's good if you like salvaging. If you're interested in salvaging, that seems to be the hot spot. I'm logging into 322 first time, so I'm going to find out if some of the same hotspot Orison missions are going to be there. So this is where I'm going to start at. But feel free to start. Like I said, New Babbage is interesting. It's a newer city as well. That's where I started out. Area 18. So kind of to look at these, this is the furthest on the outer ring of the solar system, so it's going to be the furthest away from the others. Alternatively, Lorville is the opposite. It's the most inner planet, and so it's also extremely far away. Area 18 and Orison are about the middle. So as far as picking one of those two, technically it's easier to get to the other planets from about the middle. They're all fairly a fair distance apart from each other. So really just pick what you want here. Feel free to do some research on each of the planets. I like Orison. I just like the allure of it. New Babbage is pretty friendly as far as like finding the hangar, because that's probably the biggest challenge is trying to figure out where you need to land at. New Babbage is pretty good about that. Orison, I've gotten used to it, so I feel like it's pretty good. Lorville, I still have a hard time kind of getting around that one. Area 18 I like a lot, so if I were to pick kind of out of these two, I would probably pick one of these two, just me personally. But again, I do find value in New Babbage. I just don't necessarily like the tram, but there's ways to kind of play around that. I like Orison, but like I mentioned before, I'll keep saying that, but Orison also has some challenges with their each of them have their own kind of tram system, and its tram system, sometimes people get messed up. So none of them are perfect. It's just going to be kind of a personal preference here. And then you're going to click this. Feel free to pick a server. I just leave it on best, and then go ahead and click play game. And I'm going to confirm this. Once you confirm this is going to be your home planet, that's going to be your home planet. Like, that's where your main ship's going to go to. You can start other planets later on, so it's not like, and it's going to be where you res and things of that nature, but it's not super meaningful where you pick. And like I said, when you play a different patch, you're going to pick a different place anyways. So your first go around, pick a planet that you feel comfortable with. It doesn't really matter that much. So don't overthink it. But again, feel free to do research on where you want to go. Like I said, I'm going to do Orison from this point of view, but feel free to pick a different planet. So when you first get loaded in, everybody starts with the same kind of armor and stuff. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and take the time to lower my volume, because that's a common complaint I get from my videos, because everything's going to kind of reset. So I'm just going to turn the master volume way low, because I'm recording this along with my audio. So I'm just going to turn these down. Hopefully that's the only thing I need to edit for now. So the first thing you're going to notice, even though you don't see it now, is hitting F12. This is going to be where chat is. Like, you're going to usually find people talking here. I think because the patch just came out, people aren't talking, but if you hit F12, it'll get this communication piece to go away. So that's what I find to be one of the most important things to kind of know, is hitting F12, either turning it on or turning it off. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. You can see here it's gone away. The next thing you want to know is kind of your other keybinds. I rebound mine to circle. I think Y is the original default to get out of the bed. You can also just move usually. Also, you can use the F key, and you can see, like, it'll give you, they call this inner thoughts. For the longest time I didn't know what inner thoughts are. This is what they refer to when they're talking about inner thoughts. It's kind of your like little menus that you're going to pick. So again, holding F is going to show you the inner thoughts. You can zoom in and zoom out using the scroll wheel, like I did there. But yeah, hitting F is going to be really important to picking options here. Same thing with doors. Like, you want to click a button or interact with things, it's going to be using that F key. So anytime you go anywhere, you're going to find elevators quite a bit. So just go down to what appears to be the end of hallway. If there isn't a sign, there's pretty good signage usually, but if there isn't a sign, just kind of follow the walking path. You want to call the elevator. And then for a lot of these places, you're going to go to just a random hotel, or not hotel, but like sleeping zone. It's going to put you in a random spot. Sometimes it seems to be the same, but in general, I do see it changing occasionally. So just go to the elevator, hit F to interact with the call button, and then pick ground floor by hitting F as well. And then you're going to find, again, these, I'm used to where to go here. There's 2 exits, there's one over there, but you can find usually there's some sort of signage on the walls. They're pretty good about that, to be honest. So look for signage, and again, using the F key to just interact with things. And when you go to Orison, this is the big like hotel or place, motel, hotel, apartment complex. That's not super meaningful. That's just going to be where you start if you log out in this particular area. Over here is the hospital. There's a bridge here. This is what they call the TDD, which is the trade district. You can do some selling there. Over across here is where you go from this particular area if you want to go to kind of like engineering type places or buying and selling ship parts, things of that kind of nature. But really we want to go to the spaceport here, and the reason you know it's spaceport because again there is like signage. So take a look when you're going to a tram, look around. There's usually going to be some kind of sign that tells you like, hey, this is going to the spaceport, or this is going to go to a trade district, or something of that nature. Also with Orison, there's a bridge here that's going to go to this big thing is Crusader. So this planet's big about Crusader selling ships and stuff here. So while we're in here, let's take a look at what you have in your inventory. Everyone's going to kind of start with the same thing. You will notice that I've got a lot of stuff here because I've been playing for the game for a couple months now, and using a reclaimer and doing some salvaging has been pretty good income as far as money is concerned. Actually, I haven't checked yet to see if I still have my money. I do, so that is good, because whenever you have a patch, there's a chance that you lose your ships. This patch is supposed to fix that, so hopefully we don't have that problem anymore. I think for any patch, I still would do the same thing, which is going in, making sure the ship is delivered, and then make sure you go ahead and retrieve it and store it. That's important to do for patches as well, so that's just something to be mindful of. But I'm just pressing I here to get in my inventory. You're not going to have really any armor here, but having this flight suit is fine. I wouldn't spend too much money on armor initially. I found it to be a waste of money, because really the flight suit, and whenever you die you actually get a new white flight suit, so just be comfortable initially with your flight suit. You may want to get stems. As you can see here, your character has a red stem, which is a way to heal, and then you have a gun. So just use this for now. If you want to, you could actually store this stuff. Whenever you drag things from your current inventory to this local, that's going to be where everything's stored. In a future state, ideally you'll have some kind of boxes or storage place, but for now, if you store it in local, it stays on this planet. So if you want to do that and then hit backspace, you'll get a free suit if you want to store this stuff for later and just kind of use the basic suit. What that's going to look like is if I go to Undersuits here, it's going to be this suit here. Whenever you die, you're going to get this beacon Undersuit gray, and then I click here to armor. Let's see if I have it on the top. I don't, so let me hit, there's a filter thing here. I'm going to go ahead and click on helmets. And this is the helmet you're going to basically get here. It's Horizon, oh, let me close this. Horizon, oh my gosh, I didn't close it. Hit this Horizon helmet's what you're going to get. So you're going to get that white suit and Horizon and Horizon helmet every time you die. So at least that's how the game is currently working. So yeah, feel free to just go through the process of, if you want to store all of this stuff, you can toss this over here in local. Now the undersuit, as you can see there, it actually takes everything off with the undersuit. That's a good way to also like loot things. As a little quick tip is to just move the whole undersuit. That will get everything to move on you, including armor. So if you can get a hold of that undersuit, that actually equips everything. Just like you saw there, it made me naked. Well, it took everything off. It unequipped everything just because the undersuit is somehow the way that the base game is using to actually loot everything and ditch everything. So if you want to store this for now and then hit backspace, if you hold backspace at any time, it's going to kill your character. So you'll restart at the same, you'll start at the hospital, at the place where you chose your main mission. So if you get like Orison here, I'm going to restart on spawn at the hospital here. So if you want to save this suit for later, it's not that big a deal. Don't worry about it if you don't want to do this, but if you want to, you can just start with the white suit instead, because you're going to get that for free anytime anyways. This isn't necessarily better, but if you probably don't need the gun and stuff initially, it depends on what missions you want to do. So we're not going to talk too much about missions. I just got off the shuttle here. You can see the timer. So we're going to make our way to the main elevators here. Now we're at the spaceport. It seems like most of the time they do this. There's a set of elevators to get to the spaceport section. So I'm going to go ahead and click the spaceport, and we'll make our way to the get our ship. This is kind of going to be the main focus you want to do. The other thing you want to do, we're going to buy some food. I'll just get a little bit for now, and you'll notice you don't have any substance. You want a little bit of substance, so it's good to keep some of that on hand. you know, for your initially, if you forget it, it's fine. Make your way around, do some stuff, and then land and get more, or you can backspace your character. Same thing with your ships. Like right now, insurance is the big thing. So what I'm doing is I'm holding shift down to run. You can use your scroll wheel to actually slow down or speed up. I'm scrolling back right now, so you can see how I'm walking, right? So I just scroll the wheel all the way up, and you can run. So I'm using shift now to run. There doesn't seem to really be a stamina thing. You do breathe hard, but there's not really a stamina effect. This guy's got a cool suit. So you're going to make your way to these orange terminals. These fleet managers is going to be where you're going to go ahead and get your ships. There are also fleet managers in some space stations for ground vehicles, but in this case this is specifically for the space hangars. You can see here that we're at the spaceport. So you want to go through and pick your ship. You can see here when you first get here, you're going to have to deliver your ship. You're probably only going to find one. So like if, for example, if I bought the Titan, this would be, you know, something I want to deliver. I just click the deliver button, request the delivery. I'll go back, and then you want to retrieve that ship. So it's been delivered to this station, and now you want to retrieve it from the station. Now if I went to a different station, I would have to claim it because the ship is already here at Orison. You can see here it's showing it at Orison. So if I went somewhere else, if I died, then you want to go to that different area to pick up that new ship. Yeah, let's start with this ship, and yeah, we'll retrieve this. You'll see it'll give you a hangar. So go to hangar 7. Please note you can see over people's shoulders, like what they're doing. So you know, note that if someone's looking at you funny, I haven't found like ship theft to be a big deal. It is something that can happen, so just be mindful of that. I imagine you just would reclaim it. Again, I haven't had that problem before, but people could technically do it. So once you've clicked the elevator, it'll say elevator called. So we'll wait for the elevator here. It's showing it's already here, so that's like, okay, there we go. If you see that double door thing, don't worry about it. It's kind of a glitch. So I'm going to go to hangar 7 because that's where it said our ship would be. Oh, this is a good sign with the whole... Oh, someone's trying to join me. Alright, let's go. You're going to go to hangar 7 with me. Alright. So they're going to wait for the next one. Alright, so here's hangar 7. Here's our ship. So all you're going to do is just get in. In this case, the ship has 2 ways to get in. There's a ladder up front for just getting in the cockpit. I'm going to go through the back here just to show how to get... Most of the ships are not going to have 2 ways to get in like that. So you're usually just going to go through the back here. I'm going to go ahead and button it up. You do want to get used to buttoning up your ship so that people don't come in behind you. Because, again, vehicle theft is a thing. I would say that's probably more common than just straight up someone stealing your ship. I don't know, it just doesn't seem to be a big thing where people stealing your ships that often. Alright, so the first thing you want to do, I like to do this, so you want to hit escape, go to options. A good keybind to do is to go into advanced, and you can see here there's a number of keys that are not currently bound at all. And so F3 is a good one. Cap lock, I don't think I would necessarily use that one. There's the minus and the equal sign there, semicolon, and the quotation marks. So there's some options here: insert, delete, numlock. I mean, some of these I wouldn't necessarily use, but F3 is a good one. So F3 is a common practice for people to go into advanced controls and go to, I believe, so we're going to go to movement, scroll down to the bottom of this movement key, and we're going to find request landing, and you want to make that F3. And the reason why is what we're doing right now. That is for both requesting landing and requesting launch. So I'm going to hit F3 now because I've already set it, but please feel free to put F3.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Alright, so you heard there is like the launch control people telling you that you're good to go, and the hangar door's open. Now I've reset my power key to F5. I believe it's I initially, and then you also want to turn your engine ons. Actually, I have it backwards. It's U, I believe, for default, turn your engine on, and then I for engines. So you want to go ahead and power up. Additionally, usually your ship is going to have, I mean, engine and stuff like that, you're going to be able to hit F and go through and actually pick. So if I want to turn engine on, I can do that. Usually the power is up to the top somewhere. Each ship's a little bit different. So you can see I can power on here, and I can turn my engine on this way as well. But feel free to get used to those hotkeys. You're going to also see that in power management. Alright, and that's it. We're pretty much ready to take off. I'm going to lift up here. You use N to put your landing gear away. I can hit F4 to kind of take a look at that. I'm going to hold Z to take a look around. Alright, I'm going to reset it back to where I was. And we're good to go. And then if you're using a mouse and keyboard, just hold W. In this case, I've got some sticks, so I'm going to use those. And we're off to the races. I'm going to set my max. So I'm going to go ahead and put on cruise control. You may have saw it in that other key, it's Alt-C. Most ships are going to have a cruise control, and you can see that right here, that I have a cruise control set. That's going to make it just max. And then you can control the max speed of your ship as well. I think it's the mouse wheel to do that as well. I like to set I set mine on my joystick, so I've got it set all the way up. You can turn it all the way down. You see there it's sliding, so that's going to determine how much thrust you're actually adding. You can hold shift, that's going to allow you to boost, and you see on the left side there's actually a boost control here. That's how much boost you can actually do before it doesn't let you boost anymore. I'm going to hit B here, because that's going to bring out my warp drive kind of thing, my jump drive, my quantum drive. You want to use that in order to get somewhere. And then first thing I like to do is go to the substation right outside, because I'm going to actually set my spawn there. So next, besides picking B, I would also hold B. I actually rebind. I didn't like B being both the way to turn it on and to jump, because that has an option of, like, when you're trying to jump maybe frantically in combat or something, you can't do it because sometimes you might like just turn it off. So if you see here, I'm fully spooled. I've got 100% on my spooling, and I've got 100% on the calibration of where I want to go. If I hit B right now, it's going to reset it. So if I hold B but I don't quite hold it long enough, it's going to just reset it like that. And you can see here, I'm having to respool and I'm having to recalibrate. And that's not ideal during like combat or something like that. So I like to rebind mine. I make it period, is the button I pick. Feel free to change it to something else. You saw a number of keys that were available there, like semicolon and stuff like that. Feel free to make changes there. I wouldn't change necessarily too many keybinds initially. Just play the game for a bit and see what you feel comfortable with. But I like to change the jump drive one just because I was found myself pressing B either too long or too short for jumping, and that's something I changed. All right, I'm gonna jump. Again, holding B is the initial button to do that. You can see, okay, there's another challenge that you see there. This person is hanging out around at the jump. So if someone does that, you can actually run into them. So just be mindful of that. That does happen when people go AFK there. It's just an unfortunate side effect of playing the game. Now I like to leave B on just so I can get to about 10k. So when you get to 10 kilometers away from a space station, that's when you're going to be able to request docking with that same F3 button. All right, now I'm getting close. I want to go ahead and space brake. Holding X is going to do that. I'm using a controller. You can see here I'm starting to black out just because I'm requesting, or I'm pulling too many G's. So that is something that happens as well. You just kind of let off. All right, let's see. All right, we're less than 10 kilometers away, so I'm going to go ahead and try F3.
Please proceed.
All right, I've got myself a landing bay, so I'm going to make myself there.
Thank you for contacting
You'll notice here in the red, it'll show up to you as well, so you don't necessarily have to keep, but I like to keep my jump up so that I can see that. All right, I'm going to use my space brake again because I'm coming in pretty hot. Press N to lower your landing gear. All right, we're just going to line up. So I'm going to look again for my docking spot, my arrow. That's right down here. All right, we're going to make our way down. This is going to take time and practice. If you don't feel comfortable doing this initially, then don't worry about coming to the space station. I find it a little easier to land at the space stations because you not have to deal with gravity as well. So you can land in two ways. You can just do it naturally like this, or you can hit F4 and go ahead and just set her down. I'm not still the greatest. It's odd, I actually am more comfortable in the Reclaimer, which is a big ship, than I am with some of these small ones, because I've spent so much time in it. So yeah, just find you a spot and land. You can also hold down N for most ships, and it'll have an auto landing feature. All right, I'm gonna hit back at F4. I'm gonna turn my engine off. For me, I believe it's I and U, and you can leave your power on actually, but do turn the engine off, because if you don't turn the engine off, you could potentially just find yourself not being able, your ship will take off once you get out of your seat. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get on my seat. I've changed it to O, but I believe it's still Y for default. Feel free to hit that button. All right, you use F key to kind of, again, make your way out, interacting here. What we're going to do is I'm going to go to the medical station, and I'm actually going to locate where my... So the way you die is it's based off like a cloning system. And what you're looking for when you're trying to close these bays, some of them will literally say close. Some of them are a little more old school like this ship, and you have to just find the hot spot where it wants you to click, and it's up here. So this is what I'm really trying to hit to close this up. Come on. Get with it. There we go. You can see here, closed door. Alright, so let's make our way over to medical. I think these space stations are a little bit easier. They're fairly generic. They all basically look pretty similar. The layouts are pretty similar. They all kind of have the same components for the most part, with slight variation, different restaurants and stuff like that. For example, I forgot to buy food, so we'll find out what little, maybe there's a hot dog station here. I don't remember what's out here at Seraphim, but we're going to find out what food's here because I'm going to buy a little bit of that. The first thing you want to do though is come over to this terminal and you want to store your ship.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval
So
system.
we'll store button, and now that ship will be stored away. You can see now it's located at Seraphim. So if I went back to if I went back to the planet, then I would have to, Orson, I would have to go ahead and I'd have to claim the ship with insurance in order to get it back. So if I died right now, I would respawn back on Orson, and I'd have to claim my ship in order to get it back. Don't be too worried about that, because again, claiming doesn't cost any money, so it's not that big a deal. And you're going to crash, so don't worry about that. You're just going to have to deal with that and just reclaim your ship. Now these are the elevators. They're always going to look like this. So these are going to take you to different floors. Usually space stations have like 3 floors. Maybe a refinery. They might have just a cargo bay where you're going to be able to buy kind of ship components and like engineering type of items, I would say. And then you're going to have more of a domestic area you can go to buy like maybe clothes or different things. That's definitely a good floor to go to. But the first thing we want to do, I'm going to go to the medical area. So let's make our way down here. And again, these layouts are going to all be kind of similar, but at the same time, they're going to be a little bit swapped. Like the way I'm going to the medical center right now may be different at the space station you're going to, but they're usually on this first floor. So don't worry about going to one of the different floors. So the first thing you walk in the medical center, the one thing you're going to notice right away is there's a different inventory for both the Seraphim station and the medical area as well. So once you walk into the medical area, you're going to have a different inventory. So when you die, take a look at I before you leave this medical area. It's going to be very important, because if I step out here, I'd say it's like where this NPC is standing. Sometimes it's about this far away where you may not be able to see that spacesuit I was referring to before. So be mindful of the medical area, because it has kind of a little sub-inventory, if you will. So there's a check-in. This is where you go if you want to just heal your character. So you would just click this, you would touch on this little panel here, and you would let them know you want to check in. They'll assign you a room, and you can go there to heal. The pharmacy is another area where you're going to be able to get medical items like the red pen I've got, that for healing. You can also get a med gun there. Actually, I'm going to buy some of those as well. But first, I want to show you the regeneration. So this is where you go in order to pick a new cloning area. So if I die, I'm going to come here instead of going back to the planet. So all you're going to do is click the transfer imprint. Yes, I want to confirm. So instead of respawning out Orson, I'm going to respawn at the space station. It's just a little easier because the planets are pretty cumbersome. And here, if I die, I can just pop out of here and go back to the hangars I was at, call my ship, and be on my merry way. It's a little bit easier to get around because there's no shuttles and stuff like that. No, like, having to get around tram systems and stuff like that. That's what I mean by a shuttle. Looking at this store, there's a number of pens here. These pens all deal with different kinds of medical needs, like obviously if you need oxygen, you need an oxygen pen. I'm not going to go through that here. There's definitely videos about that as well. But the med pen is the most important one because this actually has to do with your HP. But this medical device here, the Paragon, is going to be really important. So I'm going to buy about 10 of these just to keep here locally. I'm not suggesting you do this at all. I'm just saying this is something you want to buy maybe one of. I wouldn't buy it initially. Just stick with the red pens initially until you get comfortable and you're not going out and dying. Along with this, you actually need this green goop to go along with this pen as well. It's ammo, if you will. So I'm going to buy quite a few of these. I'm just going to buy 100, to be honest. You can also click on here and set a number. I'm going to do that as well. Now, the problem with doing what I just did there, I'm going to leave them here for now, but you need a backpack or an inventory to actually take. Now, I could put one, for example, I could put a medical gun on my side here. I'm going to do that now just to show you. And I could put one reload here. And so this is the same kind of reload you would use for your gun. So I have a magazine here as well. And now I've got one reload of the medical pen. So I've got one ammo here. You can see it goes with the pistol. And I've got one reload from a medical gun. Again, maybe you want to do one or two of those. Now the other thing I want to show again, that medical thing, if I go out here and I press I, suddenly I've lost it. Like there's no longer, I can go to ammo. Ammo is where the green part should show up, and it's not here. Because again, this is kind of a little sub-inventory, so be aware of that. Again, where you die, you're going to have to get your medical suit before you go too far from this particular area. So just be mindful of it as a new player. Alright, that's pretty much kind of a run around the Space Center. There's pizza here. This isn't really good because you can get the drinks here, but I have a hard time buying the food here. Yeah, like it'll let you buy water and stuff. But let's make our way to the next area. I'm gonna use the elevators here, and we'll go take a look at the space station. There's cargo area. I think this doesn't have a refinery, so you're gonna have the cargo area, and then the other Galleria here as well. The Galleria is going to be where you buy a bunch of your other items. Like some usually will be like a vendor for guns there, armor, things of that nature, and there's going to be vendors for food. So that's what I'm going to look at now. Sometimes you're going to find weapons here too. So you can see there's a clothing vendor here. There's the armor and kind of vendor here. I'm going to check and see if they have food here. Not looking good. Usually if they have food or something, it's going to be out here. Let's take a look anyways. So you have to anytime you want to look at a shop, walk up to the screen, hit F. Yeah, I'm not seeing a category that I'm looking for here. So if you want to buy armor, feel free to buy some here. I initially would not start out with armor. You know, undersuits is what you're gonna. Again, this is gonna be what this beacon undersuit is what you're gonna get if you die anyway. So don't spend the 1K. Just, you know, get the undersuit. If you want to buy some armor and you want to start doing some bunker missions or something, feel free to buy some armor, but don't go crazy with it. You don't do FPS without armor. I mean, that's going to make it harder for yourself. So do grab an armor and backpack if you want to go out and do some ground missions. But I would say initially, just get used to your ship and running around with it. All right, so here is another armor vendor over there. Yeah, here's the ship weapons. So there's kind of all kinds of vendors they've got around here. Feel free to take some time, look around. But for me, I definitely want to make my way to my ship and kind of just... There's also admin offices, which is where you can kind of trade some stuff as well and do some selling. So you can go in here. These little white terminals, these are where you go to clear crime stats. There's kind of a criminal system, so if I were to kill people or do something bad, relatively small stuff like maybe accidentally hitting a ship or something like that, that's pretty small. You can pay the fine. But in some instances, if it's really bad, like you murdered somebody, you're not going to probably be able to clear it, and you're going to have to potentially do some jail time. Oh, there's some other stuff, ways to clear that. Obviously, we're not going to cover that today, but yeah, so just be mindful that there is a crime system and there is jail. So yeah, we're going to go down this way. This is going to take me to the other area of the Galleria where there's going to be some food. I'm just going to grab some drinks. So I'm going to head downstairs here. And we're going to grab some drinks. I'm just going to grab a couple. There's a little coffee place here. There's another pizza place, and there's a burrito place. I kind of like the burrito place too. So you can just go in here, you can grab yourself a burrito. So I'm going to quick buy a burrito. I'm going to go ahead and store it up. It's not very good in how this stuff sells for now. Because I don't have a suit on, I actually can't store it. So let's buy a couple of these. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and place... Go ahead. I have my helmet on, so I can't drink it right now. I'm just going to put it in my inventory. So I've got a drink, and I got a burrito. And so if you hit I, you can actually find these under substance. So there they are. I find it better. You probably want to get like 2 or 3 drinks there. Initially, probably don't worry too much about it because you're going to probably die before you're going to starve. So it's just the nature of the game. You might be really good at the game, but more than likely you're going to find yourself maybe hitting something and blowing up. So again, don't be too worried about food, but if you think that you can stay out there for a little while, then do bring some food with you because starving and dying of thirst is the thing. Going to make our way back to the elevators, back to the hangars, and yeah, find some stuff to do for a little bit. But this is just an intro look at getting around. Again, I find it important to go to the space station. It's the first thing to do from me because I like to go ahead and rebind myself to the space station. I just find it easier to get around that way. If I die now, I would go to the space station. I can always go back to Orison. It's right down below us. But that's pretty much the quick and easy guide to getting started. And at this point, you can get in your ship. Hitting F1 or F2 will allow you to get to your menu. This is the map in its current state. Hopefully they'll fix this soon because it is a little cumbersome. I'd say the quick tips for this is to be mindful of these things, which is, again, when I showed the planets before, this is that Microtech is the other planet that I started at. You can see here, New Babbage is going to be on here. It's right over here. And it has Port Tressler, so I started at New Babbage, and I kind of found Port Tressler as being my main hub, because, again, I've always tried to use the near space station as my go-to, but it is super far away from everything else, right? So there's just something to be mindful of. The next thing you want to look at with the maps is, it took me a long time to figure out what the different Mick and Cruise and Hurl, like the different little sub-planets for these, and the easiest way to think of it is you need to remember just the 4 major planets. Microtech, then you want to do Arc Corp. You can see the rings, right? I'm going in by rings. Arc Corp is the next furthest away. Then Cruel, which is Crusader. Hurston, and then when you zoom in a bit more, oh, that's it. So those are the planets that you want to focus on, those 4, and within those are going to be rings of other planets. So if I'm looking for a Mick planet, it's going to be with the Microtech ring. So if I see a Mick, I know I have to look at that particular ring. With Cruel, I know I have to look at the 2nd ring. Arc, I have to look at the 3rd ring, and Hurl, I need to look at the 1st ring. So that's the easiest way. So when I start to look at salvage missions, for example, there might be a salvage on Mick L4. I'm like, oh, where's Mick L4? I'm like looking at all the L4s. I can't find it. Well, I just came to realize that this ring is all the Micks. So I just need to look here to find that particular one. Same thing with Arc. I just knew I needed to look at the 3rd ring for that. Sometimes you can see Hurston is kind of hard to find because this ring is so small because it's the most inner ring. You have to zoom in. So use your scrolly mouse wheel to zoom in and out. But yeah, that's kind of finding your way around the different stations there. And those are the different planets. So those are the 4 planets you would start on when we looked at those. Again, I like to use ArcCorp quite a bit and Crusader because they're pretty close to each other. Hurston, I have a hard time. Lorville, I have a hard time looking around here. I go here to buy ships because Lorville has a lot of ships, but I do have a hard time getting around there. So I just don't like it as much. Microtech is good. I like its layout, but again, it's so far away compared to the other planets that I felt like I was kind of so far away when I was using that planet, but it is a good planet, so it's fine. Also, with the different inner planets, it's going to start with L1 and L2 closest to the planet. So if I saw Cruel L1 or 2, I just know it's Crusader, and it's L1 or L2 there. So it's the other planets that are going to be further away from. And these are just like sub-planets. They don't have real names. They're just noticed as they're aligned with the particular planet's orbit, and they have an up to 1 through 5. And again, 1 or 2 is going to be next to the planet. It's 3, 4, and 5. They're going to be a little bit further away. All right, and then here is the contract manager. Whenever you log in, you technically want to go here to Mercenary and take Call to Arms. This is so if you kill any bad guys, you're going to get a little bit of money. And you can untrack it. I would untrack it because there's no reason to track it. But yeah, this is where you want to go in order to get started with your missions. So I won't dive too much into this. I'm actually going to start with some salvage today, but I won't cover that today. So let's take a quick, well, I guess what I will cover is what you should do. That's going to be based upon what kind of ship you got. So the ship I was showing would be okay at bounty hunting. Everyone has to kind of start with this very low VLRTs. You're going to have to start here. You have to pay a little fee, but this unlocks the ability to do VLRTs, the lowest risk targets. So this is a good way to start with bounty hunting. And in this particular case, whenever you do bounty hunting, it's going to be, after you do the certificate, it's going to be based on the zone that you're in, like the particular planet system. So you want to pick an area, kind of stick with that one and grind out the reputation. Salvaging, similar kind of idea here. You want to pick just one. Again, this is important with you can see the planet locations here. It's going to tell you where to go, and I have like, where's Crew L5? Again, I'm already in the Crusader system, so Crew L5 is probably fairly close to where I am. We'll take a look. I can tell you it is. It's right here. So you can see Crew L5. Again, all I have to know is it's in Crusader area, so it's going to be close to where I'm at now. It could be Crew L3, which is going to be further away because it's on the other side of where I'm at now, but I know that Crew L5 is pretty close, so you'll get used to these planets. So looking at there, here's Hurl L1. This is the inner ring because this is Hurston. Here's Arc, so I know the Arc's going to be closer to the 4th ring. This is Mix, so this is going to be Microtech, so this is going to be the furthest ring. So you just want to take a look at these, and again, knowing these subsystems, it took me a while, but you just have to know the main planet to know how far away. This is going to be the furthest ring, this is the 3rd furthest ring, this is the ring we're in now, and then this is the Hurston is the closest ring. So for me, because I'm at Cruel, I can actually do kind of all 3 of these. I would probably pick Hurston here, or I would take this, so this one's the closest to me, so I would start with this one. But yeah, that's a quick look at these. These personal missions are similar good. It still has the cleanups here, which is, I have a guide on that as well. The cleanup missions are a good way to make money, because when you're looking at salvaging missions, you have to pay to get these. These two here in particular, you don't have to pay for them. They actually pay you to do them. You do have a limited time, and there's no cargo involved. So when it comes to salvaging, this is something that you want to be mindful of when you're doing salvaging, is getting in there. You're going to usually have some cargo, but those particular missions do not have cargo, but at least they pay you to do it, whereas these ones, you can see here, I have to pay a small fee to get them. So salvaging is good, but you need to have a vulture. I'll do some testing here soon, probably, to see if hand salvaging is an alternative, because with the vehicle like I'm in now, technically you could get cargo out of these ships and probably make money. But I'm going to see if the hand salvaging is still good. Last time I did a test with it, and it was not good. The hand salvaging was not viable enough to actually do that. So hand salvaging is, I wouldn't say is currently viable. I'll test that out and find out if that's still the case or not. Bounty hunting again is viable. Doing some service beacons, that's where, you know, people, like, it's NPCs usually, are stuck somewhere. You can see how far away they are from you, and you can go to help them. Delivery is like mailman. So you have a package here, you need to be picked up, and you go drop it off. These are pretty good. The problem with these is later on, you can see, and you get a payment here. You just accept the offer and you get money by doing this. The problem here is that these have varying duration, distances you have to go, as well as in later on missions, you're going to be actually going to areas where they're spawning NPCs, like bad guys. So this is something that's kind of time gated, and what I mean by that is you get higher missions. You have to get more boxes, like up to 3 or more. I think 3 is maybe the max, but you get up to 3 boxes, you're going to start finding that potentially you're going to go to a place where there are NPCs. And that's going to be a little more challenging. It's good and bad, because you can kill those NPCs usually with your ship, but on the same and loot their armor and stuff like that. So it's a good way to get money and armor, but at the same time, it just makes it more challenging for no reason, and it's really not worth the cost benefit. Again, assuming you don't want the armor. If you want the armor from them and stuff like that, that's fine. But also be mindful that the NPCs, kind of the bad guys, have the same armor, and so if you get their armor, you're going to look like a bad guy. So that's not necessarily good either when you're going to do missions. Bunkers are important, are something that people do as well here under Mercenary. So if you want to do bunkers, you could do that as well. That's somewhat viable. I had a problem. I started in 320, I believe, maybe 321. I think I started in 320, and the bunkers weren't working. So I found myself not using bunkers. I picked up the Medical Pisces, the C8R, and with the intent of doing bunkers, because I thought the gameplay looked cool, and it just didn't work at all. So I really started with deliveries, made my way into bounty hunting, but ultimately I did get a vulture and started doing salvaging. Right now, salvaging is good money. I think it's still probably going to be that way for the foreseeable future. It's something I have to test, and I will definitely do that. I do have a guide on that, and that's a current good way to make money. You want to make your way up to the Reclaimer, because I have a video on that as well. The Reclaimer is mad money when you come to this personal mission. There's 2 here. This one is good money for the Vulture. Basically, you just do this over and over again. It's good money. Obviously, 80,000 is nothing to shake a stick at, but the big money here is $250,000. This actually isn't even the biggest money maker here. The $250,000 is nice. It's like icing on the cake, because when it comes to actually the hammerhead, when you get all the materials, you get like 3 million gold, 3 million AUEC. So you get 3 million of almost per Reclaimer. So it's not quite 3 million. It's around 3 million in materials. So Reclaimer makes mad ducats. So if you can start with if you can get to a vulture, get that money for the vulture, potentially work with people. You hit F12. You may find that people are looking for crews. Ask like, hey, can I be a part of a Reclaimer crew? And somebody will take you with them, and you can make a pretty quick $1 million off of that. Honestly, like, you can make, if they're willing to split like 50-50 with you, you can make pretty good money. You'll need to take a tractor beam gun with that. Yeah, let's go take a look. We're going to the cargo section, because we'll take a look at armor, and we'll take a quick look at the cargo, the tractor beam. I think the tractor beam tool, I'd say it's actually more important than the med gun. At least it is to me. The med gun's important too, but it depends really on what kind of missions you're going to do. So we're going to go to the cargo center, and we're going to go ahead and go down to the area where you can buy the, I'm going to buy some armor there, because I think the armor is decent. It's the yellow armor down here. It's fairly inexpensive. I'll buy the backpack, and then I'll buy the tractor beam, and I'll put that on, and we'll start with that. So this is the armor here. You could buy it here. I find it kind of challenging, so I'm just going to go ahead and buy the armor at the center here, and then you want to get the tractor beam. So this is what the tractor beam looks like, and then you need to get the tractor tool as well. And here's the tractor beam tool. So you can buy it all here, but I'm going to buy it at the terminal. Actually, I think this has drinks as well, so I'm actually going to buy that. So if I go to miscellaneous, so I'm gonna buy this as well. This is the food that I want to get. I'm gonna buy a bunch. Don't feel free to do, don't do this. I mean, you can. You spend your money however you want, but don't spend too much here. But I'm just gonna buy an ungodly amount just because I know I'm gonna come here a bunch and I have the money to do it right now. Oh my goodness. 100. Oh, is it not letting me buy that many? That's fun. 99? Well, that's fun. I don't know what's going on here. It's not going to let me buy 100. I think they broke something, because it used to be able to buy 100. Alright, this, I like to buy this. This is kind of like, I don't know, Gatorade. This Crux is the best thing to get, because not only does it feed your hydration, it also feeds your nutrition as well. I also like to buy these little bars. This just does food. Obviously, you can't hydrate off of this, but I get a few of these as well. Oops, let's just buy 40 of these. It's not a lot of money, as you can see here, so it's not a big deal. Now, the first thing I want to buy is you go to personal weapons. These actually are the tractor beam tool. So I'm going to buy a couple of these. Buy one. Don't buy as many as I'm buying. I'm just doing this because, actually, before I do this, let me make sure I don't have a bunch at this station. I shouldn't. Most of it should be good. Utilities is what we're looking at. Okay, good. There's none here. So I just want to double check. Make sure you don't already have a bunch here, because that's wasting your money. So personal weapons. Oops. Personal weapons. I'm going to buy the multi-tool. I'm going to buy 11 of them. Again, don't feel the need to do this. It's a lot of money. And then I'm going to buy more tractor beams. I'm actually going to buy more than I'm going to buy 21. Because I usually find the tractor beam is kind of inconsistent. You always want the tractor beam tool. If you want to do some mining, you get the mining tool. Here's a bigger tractor beam. I don't find you usually need that. The multi-tool is more than enough for now. Maybe in the future, the tractor lift may be necessary for bigger missions. Also, the battery doesn't seem to be needed. This seems to have unlimited battery for now. Next, I'm going to look at armor. I'm going to do Undersuit, actually. I'm going to buy a couple of these. Don't do this. This is the free one you get. I'm just going to put one of these right now because I'm going to put one on. But don't do this. This is the one you get for free when you die. Oddly enough, the price is lower here too, because this is 500. I think it was 900 upstairs, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But yeah, don't buy this suit. It's better if you to die and get a suit that way. All right, so this is the air roll. Is the one I'm going to get. So I'm just going to buy one of these. You can also quick buy. So I'm going to do that. Hit the little quick buy. You can see this is a whole little set going on with it. It is somewhat expensive. If you want to, I would say for your first go around, I'll show another alternative set. It's this Mac one here. Like, this isn't like, it's barely armor. You see it's light armor. This is probably medium. Ooh, I hit quick buy on accident. That's fine. You can see this is medium armor. This is light. It's barely armor. But this Mac stuff, it has. And then here's the Horizon helmet. This is the one you get for free as well. So again, after you get to the space station, feel free to respawn. Put everything, again, put your current undersuit up so you don't lose it. But feel free to respawn here if you want another undersuit, because again, you're just going to go ahead. Actually, I'm going to show that now. So let's put, let's put everything into the space station here. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and backspace just to respawn, because I want to start with a new suit. Boom, hold the space bar. Your guy dies. I already bought stuff here, so including food and drink, and a backpack, and armor. So let's go ahead and just respawn. It's pretty quick and easy. No harm, no foul. You get yourself a Horizon's suit and helmet. You get the beacon undersuit and the Horizon helmet. There we go. And we're going to start at the same space station. No harm, no foul. You can press W, or you can get up using Y. Everyone's going to start with this blue apron on. Just throw that on the floor. You're going to see a bunch of boxes here, but here you go. Here's the suit. Free suit, free helmet. And then again, here's the guns and stuff that I had here before. Now, as you saw there, when I look at armor, I actually don't see my armor. That's fine. Don't worry about that. That just has to do with the fact, again, that this is going to be a separate section.
Please, if anyone sees Dr. Bolin, let me know.
I hit armor here. I'm not going to see my armor I just bought. Don't freak out. Again, the medical area has its own, like, sub-inventory. So let's go out here. And now I'll be able to get access. Again, pressing I, I'll be able to get access to the same armor and stuff that I had before. Press I here. I've got my free undersuit and free helmet. Oh no, let me go further out. Again, about here is good. Alright, here's the stuff I bought earlier. So go to armor. I'm just going to throw this stuff on. Feel free to put whatever it is you bought on. I'm going to change out my helmet. Actually, I'm going to throw it on the ground. That's how much I care about it. Alright, that's it. So I'm ready to go. I'm ready to... Oh, okay, well, let's do... I should have got a weapon. I'm not going to put this one on. I actually don't care about a weapon that much. I'm not saying don't bring a weapon. Definitely bring a weapon. Here's my medical pen. Here's my tractor beam. So once you put on the multi-tool, you want to put the tractor beam on top of it. So now it has a tractor beam. Otherwise, the multi-tool doesn't come with anything initially. I'm also going to go back to the medical area. I'm going to drag and drop everything in my backpack so that it's out here. I actually prefer to have it out here and accessible. So again, go. Oh, I can still see it. So let's go further in. So we get the medical sub inventory. Here we are. I hit utilities. I'm gonna get all the medical guns. I'm gonna put those all here. You can see it takes 29% of my area, my inventory, and I'll get the 99. There we go. So now I'm gonna take these out to the major inventory that is the space station itself. That way, just when I come out of here, I don't have to worry about trying to find those medical guns. I'd rather have them all in one place. All right, here they are. And then there we go. I've loaded up. I'm just gonna drag and drop them here. Actually, I'm gonna go back to ammo and I'm gonna grab one of these containers and put it on here. Just for completion's sake, let's go down and buy a gun. I should have bought a gun probably earlier. I don't, again, I think initially, don't even worry about armor, don't worry about a gun. Maybe even put your gun up, because unless you're going to do an FPS mission, don't listen to this if you're doing an FPS mission. If you're going to do something like a delivery, don't probably need to worry about a gun. No one's probably going to mess with you. If you just go in the undersuit anyways, if they do mess with you, just respawn your ship. Like, it's not that's the big a deal. But I'm going to go to the gallery here. Let's say you want to go to do a bunker mission or something that requires a gun. Then just go get relatively inexpensive. I like to get the equivalent to an M4. And get mags for that. You can get a pistol too if you'd like, but I don't find it necessary initially. So let's go personal weapons. You can do grenades if you'd like as well. I used to get the 38 and this P4, but just feel free to get, I'm going to get about 10 of these. Again, I'm going to leave them here at the space station. And then you want to get magazines. So you can see here, here's the P4 AR kind of magazines. I'm going to get ideally 100 of these. I don't... Oh, okay, it lets me buy 100 of these. That's strange. They wouldn't let me do that for the cruise. For my drinks, but hey, it is what it is, right? The game's perfectly optimized. There's no bugs at all. Alright, you drop your ammo into these little slots. Again, I'm just showing you this kind of for completion's sake, if you want to do this later on, but I definitely don't find it necessary to do this on your first go round. Just feel free to go out on your ship alone and just get used to flying the ship for a bit. Do a service delivery mission, do bounty hunting. You don't even need a gun for bounty hunting. You just use your ship's guns. Like, it's not that big a deal. So I'm just doing it for completion's sake. I'm gonna go back to my hangars, and then I think I may wrap up the guide with some more tips at the end here. I'll have to think about it, because I'm trying to think now. I've been playing the game too long, and my initial thought on this was to do it from a beginner guide perspective, and now I need to think of some tips that I would give you all. You know, some of the big ones I've already covered, like hitting F12 to turn comms off. So yeah, we're gonna wrap it up now. You can always go back here, reclaim your ship, and then get on with your journey. And just don't spend too much time worrying about what you're doing. Just kind of explore the game initially and figure out if you like some of the initial gameplay. Thanks for watching, and thanks for those that have taken time to like and subscribe. See you next time.